I'll just wait a couple minutes until some people get on. Hello, happy Sunday night. Drinking my water. Hope you're doing well. I'm just going to pop in the group on my computer. Hello! If you're tuning in, I'm just double checking things here. If you are tuning in, drop it in the comments section. Let me know that you are tuning in to the live. Type the word live. And I love the people that come back and watch the replay. So if you're watching the replay, type the word replay. Where are you tuning into tonight? I'm coming to you live from Wisconsin. It was a blistery day. Actually, before we get into this, my husband went outside in our back because we have about 14 acres or so, and we have a big back shed, and husband has equipment and stuff like that. And a tree last night fell on our enclosed trailer, so super sad. It was not totaled, luckily where it was. It wasn't a total loss, and he'll be able to fix it. It won't be pretty, but man, Mother Nature can do some pretty crazy things, and so I know many of you have seen some pretty crazy things yourself. But that's my yesterday's story or last night's story, and I'm super excited to be on tonight because I've had a lot of people asking about simple things that they can be doing and how it is that they can start improving their health. So people have been asking about how I'm working with drivers, and so I thought it would be really fun to come to you guys tonight on a Sunday night, kick off your week right, and share with you some of my top tips or top strategies that you can utilize to improve your health. And one of the things I've really learned over the last 20 years is that it's really about those small little things, and it's easy to get derailed, and it's easy to feel frustrated, and it's easy to feel like everybody else has got their health together or has got their life together, and we start to feel like there's no hope for us, and that things are just way too complicated, and then we give up. And I don't want you to give up. Hey Gwen, thanks for tuning in. So that's what tonight is all about. And if you feel like this might be helpful for someone to listen to, you know what to do. Share out the broadcast. That always helps me and helps Mother Trucker Yoga, and more importantly, helps other drivers. Because your health, if you don't have your health, what do you have? If you don't have your health, anything you want to do in life is a lot more complicated, is a lot more difficult, and it doesn't have to be that way. So as people start to filter in, and if you decide you want to share out this broadcast, I'm always very thankful, and I will definitely come back and give you a shout out afterwards. But so my dad, many of you may not know, but my dad is 55, and about 5 or so years ago, he was forced to retire. Hey, Julie, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Rob. Hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in. And so my dad is a sewer pipe layer, or was a sewer pipe layer. And so although many of you know I'm not the daughter of a truck driver, and I'm not a truck driver, but I very much understand hard work, manual labor, and that you get what you give to life. And my dad, for 35 plus years, laid sewer pipe. He wasn't the guy in the excavator. He wasn't the guy up on the top. He was the guy in the hole. The guy 60 to 80 feet down, walking around in other people's crap, literally. And when I was younger, I knew no different. It was just like my dad was just like rough and tough. My friends were always scared of him. Rough and tough dude that like could do anything. I mean, he was like a human monkey, could do anything. And as he got older, his health slowly started to slip away. Where he went from the military, he was in the Army, and running Saturday mornings 10 miles a day in his Army boots, lifting weights. I remember the punchy bag going in the basement, all of that. And slowly that started to slip away. And as that started to slip away, his health started to change. He had a few accidents at work, and eventually he started having a bad back and bad knees, and his neck was messed up. He was at a property when he was working, and a landmine blew up, and it wasn't supposed to be there. And so all of these things started to happen, and looking back, he very much he very much, instead of stepping into taking care of himself, he stepped away from taking care of himself. And maybe some of you can relate, where all of a sudden our body starts to feel stiff, where our shoulders start to hurt, or our neck, or we feel old, whatever it is. And instead of stepping into health, we step away from health. And my dad, for 15 plus years, lived in constant pain. He was starting to gain weight, where he was always 6'2"-ish, and anywhere between 190 and 200 pounds. And he started to gain weight, had like the beer belly, and more importantly, I really started to notice he was beginning to have a negative mindset. And it wasn't just something that I noticed, it was the entire family and many people. It was really hard to be around. And that just kind of slowly became his life. He was forced to retire because his back was so bad. And unfortunately, a lot of other issues. His hearing is bad, and a laundry list of stuff. And I started to feel like there was no hope. And I'm hope, you guys. Like, I'm hope. And I started to feel like there was no hope for him. And in a sense, I didn't give up on him, but it was just kind of like, this just might be how it always is. And maybe some of you feel that way about your health or about a loved one's health, where it just feels like this is just how it is. And I hear people use that language a lot. This is just the way my body is. This is just because I'm this old. This is just because, this happened to me. I've been there, and I've watched family members, and I've watched other people, I've watched other students do that for many years. But here's the amazing thing. Less than a year ago, something happened to my dad. Nothing bad. Well, per se. My dad started to take back his life. My dad went from chronic pain to reducing pain, and now moving more, and no longer just sitting on the couch and sitting on a chair and going from his car to his recliner. My dad went from being overweight, having a beer belly, to he's lost now 50 pounds. My dad went from a negative mindset where people didn't even want to be around him to he just came over this morning and he left, and I was like, who is that? Like, who is this person? He's a completely different person. He's walking 5+ miles a day. He's drinking water. The other day he told me that, like, he listed off how he drinks like apple cider vinegar in the morning and is taking vitamins and is drinking water. And I mean, this is the guy. As a joke, 5 years ago, I gave him a water bottle for his birthday and he was pissed. And so I'm sharing this story because my dad is not unique. My dad is not some special breed of person. My dad is just like all of you, and a lot like me. I mean, I'm a lot like him. And he did not improve his health. He did not change his health because he went to physical therapy. He did not lose weight because he joined Weight Watchers or went on keto. I don't even think the guy knows what keto is. He did not change this thing up here because he read some book or someone told him he had a negative mindset. He did all of those things because he decided that he had enough. And this has been now a 10-11 month journey. And I want to point that out because it tells us something really important. That quick fixes rarely work. And if quick fixes worked, if crash diets were the solution, if 90-day exercise programs, which you all know I have a 90-day program here, but my point is, if all of those quick solutions worked, my dad would have been fixed many, many, many years ago. And today, I want to share with you what I've learned over the last 20+ years, what I've learned watching, living, being a part of my dad's life, especially in the last year, what I've learned working with many of you over the last 3 years, And it really boils down to 3 things I want to share with you tonight. The first thing I want to share with you to accelerate your health is how to reduce pain. Because when we're in pain, I'm talking chronic pain, like constant pain that never goes away. It's really hard after a while to start to think things are going to get better when there's this constant lingering in the background. Number 2 I want to talk about tonight is the missing nutrient that most people are not getting enough of, and pretty much everybody I know is not talking about, but should be, that every single one of you can start taking today, right now, and it doesn't cost you anything, which is pretty great. And then the third thing is the but mindset, like how to get through up here. How do we shift this? Because if this doesn't change, everything we want is just wishful thinking. And I share that because I've been there. Like, man, if you want to talk about negative mindsets, like, let's have a conversation. But those are the 3 things I want to talk about today. Number 1. Okay, number 1. I mean, if you're feeling me, if you're like any one of these things, any one of these categories, feel like you, like, show me some love, show me some likes and down, you know what to do. That's always a great way to communicate here on Facebook. And so the first category is how to reduce pain. Now, everyone else is telling you right now in the world, and you can probably relate, is take CBD. If you take CBD, all of your pain is going to go away. And I am not dogging CBD, okay? Not dogging CBD. But if we don't look at the source of our pain, if we don't step back and say, how long has this pain been going on for? What could be causing this pain? And is it something I can change? Even CBD is just a Band-Aid. And I'm not sure how much, research you've done, and this is not like to dog CBD by any means, because there's a lot of really great mental benefits for CBD, especially if you have anxiety, depression, stress, things like that. Like, please, but just make sure you look into your sources. We want to make sure that we're not just treating things topically, even when it comes to chronic pain. And so many of you know this is not a promo here. I have a pain relief cream. So you're like, Hope, why are you talking about this? And then you have a pain relief cream. Well, when I formulated that pain relief cream, one of the biggest things I wanted to look into was how do we penetrate the skin and attack what causes pain? Things like inflammation. And so that's why some of our ingredients are specific for pain relief. But how else can we attack chronic pain? Well, the word chronic is really important to think about. Chronic means is that it's like constant. It's ongoing. It's not just like here today, gone tomorrow. And when chronic pain happens, usually inflammation comes with it. And so if the action, or rather the inaction of not doing enough, okay, I'm not talking about exercising. I'm talking about, couch to 5K. I'm not talking about going and lifting the heaviest weights on the planet, becoming a CrossFitter, anything like that. But if we want to reduce chronic pain, one of the body's natural ways to reduce chronic pain is through movement. And so if you do things even as simple as, I'm just standing here right now listening to Hope, I'm going to move my arms, I'm going to interlace my fingers and bring my arms up overhead. I'm going to stretch side to side. If you're sitting in your truck seat and, safely, always safely, you can do a little twisty. You can do some pelvic tilting, roll your shoulders, stretch your wrists on the steering wheel. When we move, it's like breaking a glow stick. And my kids were just playing with glow sticks earlier. They had all the lights off in the living room and they were having a glow stick party. It was pretty awesome. So I should have saved one of those. That would have been great. But when we break up those tissues and we set that inflammation free, okay, we break all that up and we get blood flow going again. Blood flow is the key. Blood doesn't flow if things aren't moving. Does that make sense? Blood doesn't flow if things aren't moving. So if I want to reduce pain, I need to get moving. And it doesn't matter how you move. Like I said, don't underestimate the simplicity of movements, okay? Up, down, side to side. If you're worried about joints, well, there's a little joint capsule inside your joint, and there's synovial fluid in there. And when we move our joints, okay, doesn't have to be fancy, when we squat down, reach up, bend back, bend forward, we actually self-lubricate the joints. And there is no artificial way to lubricate our joints. And every time we move our joints, that joint capsule gets stimulated, and that liquid in there starts secreting, starts moving. That's why elderly that are put in a nursing home or don't ever move, why they're super stiff, why they hurt all the time, because they're not moving enough. Okay, so if we want to reduce pain, we need to move more any way we can. And we also want to think about when we're moving more and we're getting our tissues going, we need to then flush out the body. Okay, because inflammation sits and lingers, and one of the best ways that we can do that is flushing out the body and by drinking water. Because when we're hydrated, our tissues are happy. So if you want to reduce pain, that doesn't cost you a dime, okay? We want to move our joints. Not talking about abuse our joints, but move our joints, every joint. Like now in my head, when I wake up in the morning, it's like I stretch just for like a minute or two in my bed, kind of flip over, do a little back arc, twist my body, just start to do these little basic things. I hydrate right away in the morning, okay? You don't need to be at home to hydrate in the morning, people. Have a bottle of water next to your bed or on the floor, okay? And the second, boop, your feet hit the floor, you down a glass of water. My suggestion, minimum 10 ounces. Like, you can do that. Just chug it down. Hydrate your body. Flush out any toxins. Flush out inflammation. And your joints, that chronic pain is going to improve. If you're a smoker and you have chronic pain, like, hear me this. You need to start drinking water immediately. Because smoking, scientifically proven, actually dries out your joint capsules and dries out the discs between the vertebrae faster than anything else. So if you're a smoker, one, you should definitely check out Rigs Without Cigs with the St. Christopher's Fund, but two, you need to hydrate, okay? And then, using a topical pain relief cream, please make sure that there's active ingredients in there that actually penetrate the skin. So like we have Caspicum, which is actually a pepper extract. So if you're allergic to peppers, it's a very specific extract. It should not affect you. It is highly known for its anti-inflammatory properties and its deep penetrating properties. Okay, we have a few other ingredients in there too. We have magnesium. So the base of our cream is aloe and magnesium, which magnesium is incredibly good for joints and for muscles as well. So if you're going to use a topical pain relief cream, just make sure you actually read what's in it, that it actually has active ingredients. We have 6. The majority of creams only have 1 to 3. So just make sure whatever you use that it's actually helping treat pain. It's great to block the mental aspects of pain, but we want to actually treat the physical. Okay, so that's number 1. How do I help with chronic pain today? Okay, if you want more with that, well, then it's looking at how do I move? What types of exercises should I do? What are healthy things to do for joints? How should I be stretching? These are all things that I help all of my students with. These are all things that we're working on with the 90-day program, but you can start these things that I just talked about today. Okay, number 2. Hey Jane, thanks for tuning in. Lori, hey. Melinda, hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Drop it in the comment section. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And also drop it in the comment section. Let me know, like, is this making sense? Do you feel like these are some things that you can start implementing today? Because at least for me, my approach is like, if it's not simple, at least in the beginning, I'm not going to do it. Because I mean, if I would have done something already, I would have done something. So let's just take it step by step, nice and slow. Okay, number 2. So remember, we're talking about 3 things today. Number 2 is reducing, after we've reduced pain, what is that missing nutrient? So I was talking about how my dad how my dad, hey Al, thanks for tuning in the beginning. For the last 15 plus years or so, he was forced to retire because he injured himself. And then he started putting on weight because he wasn't moving. He was eating crappy. He wasn't drinking water. He's a coffee drinker, a soda drinker. You know, he loves his snacks, all that. It was like the path of no return. And this past year, he completely changed his life around. And it wasn't because of a diet or keto or a quick fix or an exercise program or P90X, like none of that. It wasn't because of any of that. It was because of these small little things. This is actually, he inspired me to do this training tonight, to do this talk. And the missing nutrient. Does anyone have any guesses? What is the missing nutrient that every single one of us on the face of the planet need to have on a daily basis, but are not getting enough of? That missing nutrient, not vitamin C, is not vitamin D, although in Wisconsin we definitely need more than the average bear. It's not protein, it's not amino acids, it's not fat, it's not anything like that. The missing nutrient that we need on a daily basis is the M nutrient. And you might be wondering, Hope, what is the M nutrient? The M nutrient? Multivitamins, good guess, Gwen. But the M nutrient is movement. While everyone else is telling you that you got to eat more fat and that, oh, you should eat more protein, or, oh, you should have like this macros diet, or you should like have the, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys, like it drives me insane. You should be vegan, you should do all these things. And I think there's no one diet that works for anybody. And I actually don't like the word diet, but the number one nutrient, and this is after 20 years of my own research, and that's working with real life people that have a pulse. Real life people just like you. This is the number one thing I see people missing. Because I have met some fittest of the fit people. And what I mean by that is like, they don't eat any sugar. They don't eat any processed foods. They are the cleanest eater. They do all these things. But yet, they still feel crappy. They still have pain. Or they keep injuring themselves. Or they're in the extreme where it's like they don't do anything all day long. Okay, all day long they're sitting. Okay, maybe that sounds familiar. They're sitting and then they go hit it hard at the gym or run 10 miles and they can't figure out why their body is in pain. Why they keep injuring themselves. Why their back stiffens up. Why they can't sleep at night. Why their calves hurt. Why, like I could go on and on and on. And so when I mean that the missing nutrient is the M nutrient, what I mean by that is that we are missing a daily dose, a regular daily dose of movement consistently throughout the day. For many of us, we have been trained in our brains to believe that if I just like get this chunk and I just eat this chunk and this one time in my day I can check off the box. It's kind of like taking vitamins. If I just take all my calcium in this one time in the day, then I'm good. But what people forget and don't realize is like calcium is best absorbed at night, but it's also a cofactor, and it needs to have things like magnesium and vitamin K and things like that cofactored into it, vitamin D cofactored into it in order to get maximum absorption. And other nutrients are best done in small doses throughout the day, just like the M nutrient. So let me ask you this. How much of the M nutrient do you get on a daily basis? Be honest. And where in your day could you add more of the M nutrient in? Let me give you some suggestions. When you wake up in the morning, I'm pretty sure, nine times out of 10 when you wake up, maybe even more than that, you have just a minute or two before you have to get out of bed. So while you're laying in bed, interlace your fingers and stretch overhead. Pull your leg across your body and look the other way and twist. Pull your knees into your chest and rock on your spine. You've already inserted more movement into your day by just doing that before you even get out of bed than most people do all day long. And then, when you're outside your truck doing your safety checks, when you're filling up with fuel, when you're in the driver's seat, when you're walking into the bathroom, when you're in the bathroom, it's just like, just move. Like, this is not scientific, you got, like, as far as like it has to be right. Like, just start doing your thing. Turn on the music and like strike a beat. Do something. We are made to be mobile beings. So as humans, we are not like lions, okay? If you know anything about lions, they sleep 23 hours a day to conserve their energy so that they can run at such high mileage to pounce on their prey, and then they feast and then they sleep again. We are not meant to be that way. We are meant to be mobile beings. And think about the direction that technology and our lives and even things like social media and things like this have taken us. We have just kind of plopped down. And so then all of a sudden we're like, but I'm tired. I'm tired. You're tired because you're not moving. It's this vicious cycle. We get fatigued and winded and tired because we're not moving. And so then we don't want to move, and then we move less. But then sometimes we have to move more in order to feel more energy. So can you insert more movement into your day? And if you're like, Hope, I don't know what to do. Well, right now, as you're sitting here watching me, just do anything. And I know that sounds, reach your arms up overhead. Act like you're picking apples out of a tree. Do that for a minute. Your shoulders are going to feel so tired. Stretch your neck to one side. Open your mouth as wide as it can. Stretch your jaw if you're worried about turkey neck. Move your mouth. And we have this window of opportunity. We have this window of opportunity, and as we age, that window of opportunity gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, to where we can willingly and freely take care of ourselves. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to help you wake up to the reality that you can improve your health in a very, very simple, easy way. I had a student for many years. His name was John Fitzgerald. And when I first met him, he was 68 years old. He walked into my door. For many of you that you may not know, I owned a yoga studio for 14 years. I worked with all sorts of people, even truck drivers. And when John walked in the door, he was so stiff, so frail looking. I actually thought to myself, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this guy? And he wanted to take a group class. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This man could barely get down on the ground. It was painful for him to lay on his back. He had to modify everything, but I'll be darned, he kept coming. He looked like he was a rubber band was going to snap. Chronic pain everywhere, stiff back. I mean, the guy biked a lot, but just, it was a recipe for disaster. And over time, he has completely transformed his health. He can bike farther than people half his age. He just did for his 74th birthday this past year. He biked 250 miles in 2 days. And I always think about John, because if John can transform his health, the man that was hunched when you'd asked to have him stand up against the wall, couldn't even get the back of his head, let alone his shoulder blades against the wall. If he can transform his health, the guy that couldn't even get down on the floor without a chair, and it took him at least 3 minutes to get back up again, he wasn't overweight. He was just stiff. He wasn't using his body to its full potential. If he can reverse that, please stop telling yourself that there's no hope for you, that you're just old, that it's just age, that it was an injury, that's just the way it is. It's because I'm a truck driver. I call bullshit. I call your bluff, which leads me to the third one. And the third category we're talking about tonight is the but mindset. This thing up here. When it comes to improving your health, fitness, losing weight, exercising more, whatever it is, you can tell yourself that that's good for you and that you're going to do it until you're blue in the face. But actions speak louder than words. I just had a phone call with somebody earlier this week. He's a truck driver. Love him. Great guy. And he's like, yeah, we should totally, I want to take better care of my health. I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, awesome, here's an opportunity. Crickets. Crickets. And I was like, if you don't work with me, work with somebody. If you don't work with me, work with somebody that understands that any change in your health and life and wellness has to start here. This is from the girl. This is from the lady that was told not just by one, not just by two, but by 3 medical professionals, all in the same time, all in the same day. That best case scenario, I learned to function on medication indefinitely. I had a slew of addictions, a major eating disorder, body dysmorphia, major social anxiety, like dun da da da. It was like a toilet paper roll of major stuff going on. And they pretty much washed their hands of me. And they were like, good luck. Hopefully you'll just learn how to get a job and do whatever. But I decided that wasn't going to be my story. I decided that that wasn't going to be my life. That was the last straw for me. And it was yoga. It was yoga that made this shift for me. The poses were great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've actually injured myself through yoga, which is why I'm such a stickler about simple, small things. But that's for another day. It's this up here and what yoga and mindfulness and meditation taught me. And it was a journey. Don't get me wrong. I've been in recovery for 15 years, but it was like this. And I figured it out, and I want to save you the time and effort, and I want to give you the things that have worked the absolute best for me. Let me save you the time, the energy, and the effort. So if you're going to work with somebody, make sure that they're starting from ground zero. You can't build a house starting with the roof. You can't even build a house starting with the windows or the siding. You have to build a roof or a house starting with the foundation. And the foundation is the thing sitting between your ears. And I call it the but mindset, because if you're like me, and maybe you can relate, the but mindset is, I need to take better care of my health, but, or I'm going to start eating healthier tomorrow, not today, because you don't know what it's like, blank, blank, blank. I can't do that because this. That's hard for me because of that. You guys, listen. And I don't know how else to say this other than those are excuses. Those are bad reasons to stay exactly where you are. I want to validate them because, trust me, I got a laundry list of stuff. A laundry list of stuff. And every time, and I'm saying this because these are the exact same things I tell myself, you guys, every single day. I'm saying that they're bad reasons and that they're bad excuses because if that type of a mindset and that type of a thought process was going to help us move our health forward, it would have already. I mean, am I right? Show me some love if I'm talking to you. If the approach that we have been taking to our life and to our health was a helpful one, it would have already been working. And trust me, I get derailed. I was just feeling a little derailed this morning. No joke. I was feeling a little disrailed, a little disgruntled, a little is anyone even listening to me? Am I doing this? Is it worth it? And I was getting a little here. I was doing it to me. No one was telling me this bull. No one was telling me that I wasn't helping people and that the things I'm saying aren't working, that people aren't listening. No one was telling me this stuff. Except for me. And so, if you don't work with me, work with somebody that starts here. Work with somebody that has actually lived through it. that has actually done the work. It's like going to a gynecologist that's a dude. No offense if any guys are watching, but excuse me, I don't think you can give me any advice about that. And now I know I'm not a truck driver, but I got a pulse. I got a pulse. I'm a real live human being, just like you. I've been through hell and back, just like you. I've had injury and chronic pain and major food issues. Like, don't even get me started on the relationship, the warped relationship with food. And I know many of you, I've heard your stories. It's a struggle, and I want to help with that. So if you don't work with me, work with somebody that can help you with those things. Because we can enlist all the right programs. I've taken a lot of them and done nothing with them. It's like they're just sitting there in a closet. We can buy all the right food. We can even tell ourselves that we're going to do all the right things. But if we have a but, that was 2 buts, attached to it, we're sabotaging ourselves before we even get out of the gate. So I want you to pay attention to your language. This is really, really important. This is why I saved this one for the last one. I want you to pay attention to your language. Not just when it comes to health and fitness, but to everything. If you find yourself in a mental conversation with yourself, I talk to myself a lot, or you find yourself in a conversation with somebody else, text message, Facebook, on the phone, in person, doesn't matter, and you find yourself going down a positive path or in a positive conversation, or someone's literally like handing you, I don't have keys right now, I got a keychain, handing you the keys, and you're like dead in your tracks, making excuses why that won't work for you before you even do it, it's not the program's fault. It's not the friend's fault. It's not any of that. It's this up here. It's not you, it's this up here. And I recognized for myself that it was a lot of learned behaviors, a lot of learned beliefs. Like I said, my dad has made a huge transformation, and he was very negative, very down on himself, very critical of everybody else, like beat himself up on purpose. Like he purposely was like almost like injuring himself because he didn't believe that he was good enough because he was a sewer pipe layer. And he didn't think that was, even though he was incredibly good at what he did. And there's not enough people like him, just like all of you. There's not enough people like you guys. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. Like, I'm passionate about helping you all because of my dad. And he has made an incredible transformation over this last year. And if he can do it, like, this is the guy that, like, I mean, like, I'm having to relearn how to have a relationship with my father because, like, I never had someone like him. And it's like, he's positive. He's like, he came over today and he's like, look, Hope. And it's like, the dude lost probably more than 50 pounds now. And like, he lives a mile from me now. And so it's like, he's like, I'm going to park the car here and walk. And I'm like, excuse me? This is the guy that he had a botched back surgery and had to belly crawl out to the porch at my parents' house to smoke a cigarette. Like, he was in that much pain. And now he's like walking 5 miles a day. He's like thinking positive. Like, he's doing, it's like, I want that for you. Like, if he can do it, the guy where I literally almost washed my hands of him, and I don't do that easy. If he can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it too. One of the most common questions I get is, Hope, how can you help me? And well, there's a lot of ways I can help you. You can watch lives like this. You can scroll my Facebook page. You can join my membership site. But my dad is actually who inspired me, and the 30-day challenge that we did with some of you drivers, and I really got to know you. is why I created Your Wellness Pit Stop. And I created this program. Like, this is like 20 years of everything I've learned, like, packed into 90 days. And someone asked me, like, why 90 days? Like, why did I pick 90 days? I didn't pick 90 days out of the sky, because it takes 21 days to start to even consider that. Let me plug in my phone here, guys, so I don't lose you. 1 second here. It takes 21 days to start to even consider to reframe your thoughts. It takes another 21 days to start acting on those things habitually. What I mean by that is they become automatic. It takes another 21 days to actually formulate that habit. Most people can't get past the second 21 days. And we've all been there, I've been there, where things get hard, they get uncomfortable, we get outside our comfort zone, and because we hit a roadblock, we think this is not for me, it's not working. But really, we're popping through the bubble of what we'd always done. And so 90 days, like I said, if you don't work with me, 90 days to actually make a change. And I say this because, you know, for those of you that don't know my story, I'm not going to get into it tonight, but like, I should be dead. Like, I shouldn't be here. Like, I should not be alive. And it took way longer than 90 days for me to get my life together. It doesn't have to take that long for you. Some people are like, oh, Hope, you're like half my age. Well, consider that a blessing, because you know what? You know what? I'm here for you. I got all the energy for you and then some. I'm going to be your kick in the pants. Your Wellness Pit Stop is for each and every one of you. It's 12 weeks, 12 consecutive weeks, starting with mindset and goal setting and drinking water and better posture and how to do exercises, how to work your core, okay? Where those muscles even are, how to stop peeing your pants, like all of these things. And nutrition, the nutrition nobody's talking about. I'm not talking about keto people. I'm not talking about paleo or macros and micronutrients. Like, you don't need to know any of that stuff, okay? Like, talking about the nutrition no one's talking about. And the right supplements to take, and from where. Like, I have experts coming in talking to you guys about sleep. I have a national sleep expert coming in talking to you guys about sleep in this program. I have a nutrition expert. I have a friend that has a program for diabetes. He's like one of the leading naturopaths for diabetic nutrition. Is coming in to talk to you guys. Like, this is how committed I am to all of you. Like, I want you to have everything that you need. We have challenges built in. I have accountability built in. We have group coaching every Wednesday. Like, many of you that are in here, Chris, I know you're in it. Like, every Wednesday, we're getting on the phone, actually having a real conversation. And then I created this program because I believe in so many of you. I believe in this. I believe that you can transform your health. I believe that when you have the right tools, the weight will come off. I believe when you approach health and mental health as a combination, not as separate, we see life in a new way. I do not believe that you have to wait until your trucking career is over to have health, to be healthy, to live an active, fit, happy life. I do believe the two can be married as one. And I want to show you how. Whether you are a truck driver or a dispatcher or someone at home, this program is for you. And I want to invite you to take that next step on your journey. And if it's not today with me, if it's not this, you have 3 categories. You have 3 things that you can do. You have 3 things that you can do. Picture a day when you wake up and the first thing you think is like, I feel amazing. Picture a day when your spouse says to you, I don't even recognize who you are. Like, what have you been doing? Picture a day when you think to yourself, I could truck until I'm 90. Because you feel great. That day can start today. That day can start today. For those of you that you're on, I shared a story about my dad. I've been talking about him throughout this whole live. My dad and I did not always have a great relationship. And for many of my adult years, I blamed him for having an addiction and having an eating disorder, and a lot of the mental issues that I had, I blamed him. I blamed him to a point that 2 years ago I didn't talk to him for a year straight because I didn't want him in my life. And I thought not having him in my life would be better. A year ago, my parents divorced, and it was the best thing that ever happened to my dad. Because he realized that his health, his wellness, his happiness is truly in his hands. Now, you don't have to go and do what my dad did, and your situation might not be like his. But it was through him taking his health back that I realized the role that I play in that as well. And that is for me to also focus on my health, my wellness, and that together that we can support each other. I want that for you. I want to help support you just like I get to do for my dad. I never thought I would ever say that he actually would want to listen to what I have to say. We just went last weekend with my kids because it was really nice out. We went hiking at Pike Lake State Park just down the road from me with my dad. I would have never done that before. He would have never have done that before. We hiked 2 miles. Like, I went home that day thinking, this was an amazing day. Because I got to spend time with him. My kids got to spend time with him. I was looking at him in amazement thinking, this man, the man that was belly crawling out to the front porch to smoke a cigarette just like 10 years ago because he was in so much pain. And that's what his life had come to. The man that was talking about, I'll just take my life. It'll probably be easier for everybody. To now this. I want that for you. Your health matters. Your health matters because without it, nothing else is possible. Your health matters. Your health matters because that is the thing that gets you up every morning and doing what you need to do, getting to your job, being able to do whatever it is life asks of you for you. Your health matters. Your health matters because that's the gift you get to give to yourself every single day. And it's the gift that you get because you're here on this earth. Don't take it for granted. Don't wait until you're on your deathbed to think that it's important. Don't wait until you've injured yourself to say, ooh, I should probably care. Don't wait until you're taken off the road to decide that I should have done something. Health does not cost you anything. It's an investment into your quality of life. So what are you going to do to invest in your health today? What are you going to do to invest in a better tomorrow for you? What are you going to do to be able to wake up tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that and 90 days later and 120 days later and 365 days later to wake up and go, I'm living the best life. Not because I'm a CrossFitter, not because I'm a marathoner, not because I only eat lettuce every day, but because the quality of my life has been drastically improved. That day can start today. That's what I got for you guys. And so if you have questions, if you have something that you want to get off your chest, drop it in the comment section. I mean, if you're feeling like hope, I totally, yes, I understand this. I'm in, I'm ready. Like, show me some love. If you're like, I want to know more about your wellness pit stop, I will, give me a second here. I'll drop the link because here's the deal. Your wellness pit stop, it's an investment in your health, okay? But I'm going to drop here the link in the comment section, and we start tomorrow. Like, no joke. We start tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. I'll be live in our group, giving you the first steps to the mindset. Week 1 starts tomorrow, and we're going through everything step by step. I strategically planned this out to be in a particular order because I've seen what works, and I've seen what doesn't work. And so week 1 starts tomorrow morning. Group coaching, we have our first group coaching call Wednesday at noon Central Time. Everything's recorded. We have a platform, everything's stored in. You guys have awesome downloads, accountability, we have challenges, all of that. Like, let me know. Move my lazy ass. Exactly, Adela, exactly. Like, and the cool thing is like every single person that's in this program so far is ready for more. And even if you're scared, even if you're like, oh, I've never done this before, I've never invested in my health before, I guess the real question is, if you don't do it now, what's your game plan? What's your game plan? Like, what is the plan if this is not the plan? When I went into outpatient treatment more than 15 years ago, I got to a place that I knew I had a problem, I knew I needed help, and I knew what I was doing was not working. And I had a moment where I almost didn't go, but the thought in my head, this is still with me today, the thought in my head was, if you don't do this today, Hope, what's your plan? Because I didn't want to be a mom, I didn't want to be a wife, I didn't want to be an adult in this world with this type of secret problem. I wanted and believed that I deserved to have a healthy life just like everybody else. And so although my problem is probably not like yours, I get big investments. Like, I had to pay outright for that treatment. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But if it wasn't for that decision, everything else that I made decisions on after that would have never happened. Like, it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars for the program, you guys. Like, I'm just going to say that. Like, it's not. But this is the brink of change. And I want to inspire you. If you haven't figured it out, I'm motivating. Like, I'm a butt kicker. Like, I'm going to hold you accountable. Like, if you need a little bit of hope in your life, like you're in the right spot. Like, I'm not just going to be like, well, if that works for you. Like, no. This is what works. This is what we're going to do. This is what you have to do, and I'm going to make you show up. I'm going to make you show up until you want to show up for yourself. I'm going to push you when you feel like it's getting hard. I'm going to ask you to get up and do one more even when you don't want to. I'm going to hold you accountable even when you fall. When you feel like you have a bad day and you mess up, I'm going to tell you what I tell myself every single day and what's gotten me through so many years. Hope, what can you learn from this? I forgive myself and I move on. Because it's here. It's all up here. It's all up here. We have to get through this. We have to get through this. And so that's why it's 90 days. Because the physical stuff, I know many of you are going to start drinking water right away. You're going to be able to start moving more. You're going to be walking more. So many boxes are going to be checked really quickly and really easily. But the true test is, can you keep doing them even when you don't want to? So if you're like me and I don't hold myself accountable very well, I need other people, I need accountability, I need a coach, I need someone to like be in my ear. If you're like me, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, you guys. Like, I believe you can do this. I believe we can do this. It's not a me, it's not a you, it's not an I, it's a we. I believe that we can do this. So if you haven't signed up for your wellness pit stop yet, like, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I dropped the link. We start tomorrow. I'll make sure I check if you get signed up. You make that investment, you decide that you want this. Like I said, this is not going to cost you anything. This isn't an investment, this is an insurance policy for the rest of your life. And you get me, after 90 days, like, I'm not going anywhere, you guys. Like, you get me for 90 days, I'm not going anywhere afterwards. It's not like, bye, see you later. Like, you guys get my membership site, you get all my videos, you get all my audios, you get coaching, you get my exclusive group that I'm going live in every single week, every single day. Like, you get all of that. Like, that's not going to go away after 90 days. So if that rings true for you, like, invite a friend, like, tell them, hey, like, we need to do this together. The buddy system works great. but let me know if you have questions. Like if you have questions, drop them in the chat, let me know, and I will come back and check these throughout the night. I'm working on stuff for you guys tomorrow. Like I just feel like I got to give you like a sneak peek or something, but I'm on my phone, not my computer. So I'm super excited. Y'all show up and do yoga on your doorstep. Yes, 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 yes. So that's the other thing too. Like after these 90 days, you guys, like I don't know if you figured this out yet, but it's November 15th. Okay, so tomorrow's the 16th. This takes us all the way through the new year to February. Like I'm taking you through into 2021. So there is no empty promise New Year's resolutions, okay? Like you're already living it. You've already set the next 90 days to be a part of that new 2021. Like what a great mindset when everyone else is like, I'm gonna wish for a better body and I'm gonna do this, and November, January 1st, I'm gonna do that. Be like, I've been living that for 60 days. Like, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, exactly. It is, isn't it? Yeah. And so here's the thing. So Adela, to your conversation, I have a wall calendar. So I have like a huge wall calendar. So that's what I'm looking at right now to keep track of everything with you guys, especially with this program. So I'm totally on track with everything. If MATS continues to be on, that's the following month. And so I've been working with Toby at MATS, and my hope is to have a presentation there and have a yoga class / celebration for all of my Wellness Pit Stop participants. And I have some stuff lined up. If that's going to actually happen, I have some stuff lined up for you guys. So if you've never gone to MATS before, like put it on your calendar. We'll have a booth there, but I'm also planning on having some presentations and something specifically for you guys. And that is the 25th through the 27th of March. So just know that, like I said, it doesn't end after the 90 days. Like it keeps going, it keeps getting better and better. But we definitely need to have some definite live yoga classes. And for those of you that are participating, like if that's something that you guys want, like we can do a once a week live yoga class, you know, beginner and definitely for everybody, all abilities. So that's something that we can be implementing. Like this program is for you guys. It's not for me. I mean, it is for me to be with you guys, but for the small handful of people that I'm taking on this, anything you guys want, like we're going to make it happen. So I have stuff planned, but if you're like, I want a yoga class, we're going to make a yoga class happen. If you want like a meditation session once a week, we can do that too. Like if you want a guided meditation with me for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, like we can make that happen. This is about your journey. What do you want to see? Where do you want to be 90 days from now? Where do you want to be February 14th? Where do you want to be? And if your mind says, yeah, but, remember what we just talked about? You don't believe that you can. You're the one holding yourself back. It's not anybody else. Don't be the reason why you don't succeed. Don't be the reason why you don't take that step forward. Don't be the reason where a year from now you're like, nothing's changed. I did that for many years. It didn't work well for me, you guys. So that's why I'm here. It's an adventure, absolutely. Yeah, Gwen, doesn't it? Wouldn't that be fun, having some yoga classes? So we could definitely do that, and we'll definitely make sure they're like truck friendly if you're needing to do yoga in your truck, especially with the weather changing. And so we can definitely make it conducive to whatever environment that you're in. And so if that's the case, we can definitely make that happen. But your Wellness Pit Stop, I'm gonna drop the link here one more time so that you guys can check it out. And I really, if you're not signed up, I really think you consider signing up. And if there's something blocking you, if there's something in your way, reach out to me, private message me, and let's talk, okay? If there's something inhibiting you from being able to make that step, like don't let that be in the way. Like let's talk, let's chat, let's make sure that you can get it in and make this step forward, because it's right in front of you. And so we have a payment plan. We have an all-in-one pay. It doesn't matter which way you do, okay? I have them both there for everybody so that you can find what works for you. And if that's still not possible, like, please reach out to me. Like, please reach out to me. Do not let that be a reason why you don't sign up. Like, I don't want there to be any barriers. I want you to be able to actually do this for you and take full advantage of it. So if you're ready to get away from the but mindset, if you're ready to reduce chronic pain, if you're ready to overcome the obstacles, if you want a healthier, happier life as a truck driver, you don't need to quit your job. I do not believe that you need to have to do that. If you don't want to have to keep implementing crazy recipes and mung beans and weird things with kale. I mean, I like kale, but you might not. Or like crazy exercises with like complicated moves and all, like, you don't need any of that, you guys. Like, it's simple. I like simple. So that's it. That's what I got for you. I'm gonna stop talking because I could really just talk all night long, as you probably figured out. But tomorrow morning, 8:30, where are you going to be? 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Where are you going to be? I hope you're in your wellness pit stop with me. I hope you're inside with all the other drivers that have decided to invest in their health just like you. I hope you guys have a great night. Kale, right? I'll blow them away at work. Exactly. So that's what I got for you. If you feel like this is helpful to someone, you feel like they should think about your wellness pit stop, or just take some of the things I talked about tonight, share out this broadcast, let people know. Like I said, go to the link, sign up, join other drivers. Like, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? This is for all of you. 8:30. You got it. All right. Until next time, everybody, have a fantastic night.